Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on. I am Luke Schwartz, part of Sports with Schwartz, and today we're spinning things up. Not are we doing sports, but instead we're taking an interview with a close friend of mine and interviewing him on his professional career and what he likes to do. So please give a warm welcome to Mr. Rockwell Tufty.
A lot of game stuff. What's going on, Luke? Thanks for having me, man. How
Of
do you
course.
feel? It's a nice warm day in July. You make it through the heat today so far?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Haven't been outside too much. Had some work, but besides that, I'm just
Didn't pit out your shirt.
yeah,
This is my third.
yeah.
This is my third shirt today that I've worn.
I'm not surprised.
Uh,
That's how hot it is. Portland, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it goes.
Gotta love it,
Well, Rocky, well, I can call you Rocky or Rockwell. Which one would you prefer?
man. Your friend? I don't care, man. I mean, it's there's. I guess that's a weird question. No, I won't say it's a weird question. I guess I've been grown up. People called me Rocky. Within the past maybe like 3 or 4 years, when I really decided on like my trajectory, I kind of figured that my real name that I was given, Rockwell Tufty, which is my full name, no middle name,
Right.
uh, sounded a little bit more better, or a little bit more professional, a little bit more unique. Because there's tons of people that I know named, well, a couple people that I know named Rocky, but no one I know named Rockwell. And so I think it was about time to just make the change.
Yeah, I feel. First question, just to start us all off. Tell us about what you do, like what your career is.
Okay, definitely. So, I on my LinkedIn, I guess the professional side of me, I am a remote promotions uh, executor. I guess pretty much street team. So I work for
Yeah.
iHeartMedia, which is a cluster of radio stations here in the Portland area. So we have like Jammin' 107.5, 106.7 The Eagle, Z100, all these like ranging. I think it's like 11 total stations. And so when people buy advertising from our stations, one of the promotional packages is a bunch of on-air commercials and then also a team presence, which where we act as brand ambassadors for the radio station and help build a face for the things that people listen to in their car or however they get their iHeart radio fix.
Right.
And so that's a little bit what I do. And then on the side, or I guess more so on the primary, I've been lucky enough to continue to play music for the past about 8 years, and I've been doing that through high school, learning how to sell concert tickets, learning how the whole money flow goes for putting on events, and then I've been doing that, and then as of once I graduated college in 2016, my manager, the guy who was helping me at like the day of all these shows, started working as an agent and ended up meeting another agent who said we need a DJ who can't or won't mess up, and so I'm that guy. So
Yeah. Thank God.
yeah, so I got hired by a rapper who goes by the name of Ugly God, and we've been doing shows together for about the past year, and it's been everything I could have ever expected. I felt like it's. I guess the best way to put it is that I've always felt like this is a part of my life that was really important to me,
Yeah.
but I also realized that I didn't want to do it for the rest of my life. And so I'm in this kind of point where I have the ability to, and I still enjoy it, and so I might as well do it. And so that connection of those two statements has really motivated me to take it to the highest level. And so Ugly God's pretty big, I would say. I don't expect everybody to know him. If you don't know him, look up his music. It's
I do.
fun.
I do.
Good, sweet. Shout out to Luke. No, rocking with Ugly God. Yeah, and so we've been able to really fulfill our dreams. We shared experiences like terrible performances together. We've done festivals
happen. They
together. We've had we've gone through the whole lot, and we've been doing that for about a year. And like I said, I'm the DJ who hasn't screwed up yet. So until
Yeah.
exactly until I mess up, I'm still the guy that they have for the job. And so just really enjoying it. And it's gotten to the point within this past like 3 or 4 months that like I'm almost I don't know if complacent is the right word, but I'm satisfied with the things that I've accomplished now.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
fact that I don't feel like if I were to retire now, I would say like, well, I wish I would have done this. I wish I could have taken it to that level, because the I hate to sound egocentric or like self-centered, but I really
No, please do. We
did.
want
Oh,
that.
okay,
We want
well,
that. Yeah.
I'm the best. I am the best that came out of this city, doing exactly what I knew I was going to do, and I spoke it into existence.
DJ Rockwell, right here.
Yeah, man. And so right now I'm in the process of rebranding myself as more than just Ugly Gods DJ.
Right.
So I've been making my own instrumentals and sending them to rappers that I like to listen to, and hopefully they will help me compile a list of songs, and I can put that out as a mixtape, and it would be my music, in which I may not be rapping. Maybe I will rap. Who knows? But really like to experiment with new sounds. And it's one thing to be a DJ where you're given all the music from these popular artists and people have a demand for that music.
Yeah.
It's another thing to literally create it out of nothing
Yeah.
and create these own sounds and pick what drum sounds to use and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I've been blessed, and so I've been incredibly worked really hard to get to this point. There's been a lot of sacrifices. There's been good shows. There's been bad shows. There's been things I wish I wouldn't have done, but there's lessons that I wouldn't have learned unless I did that. And so yeah, so it's been quite a journey for me, and I how I feel.
Right,
I just
yeah.
don't ever want to be broke. Being broke is my biggest fear, and I've been broke before, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest lesson I've ever learned. And I'm only 24, so I'm like maybe about a quarter of my way through my life, and I've been broke. And now I have.
He's young.
Yeah,
but
exactly. But yeah, man, just enjoying it. And
Right.
now I'm here doing this interview with one of my greatest friends. And I don't know if you've noticed this integrated branding, but wow, you're killing it, man. I don't know if anybody's told
thank
you
you.
on the podcast yet, but this looks great, and it's
Thank
operating
you.
great.
Thank you.
And I'm a fan of yours, man. I'm trying
Thank
to get
you.
all the podcast up, and it's just dope to see, how things influence each other.
Yeah.
And here we are, man. So it's about time. It's about time we did this interview, isn't it?
Yeah, so pretty much in your profession right now, you have a win-win situation. One, you're working for iHearts. You have the marketing piece where you studied at Portland State for 4 years. This guy is also the indoor and outdoor record holder for the high jump, won the state championship in high school, so he's got a lot of statistics riding on his back, which is pretty cool. And then on the side, you've done your passion. You've got to hang out with an awesome artist where you are not only just doing the music for him, you're innovating it yourself.
Exactly.
How has that experience formed the next couple of years for what you really want to pursue down the road?
Definitely. So I think when I was about 17, I had a marketing class by a teacher named Nikki Taylor. Shout out Miss Taylor.
Woo!
Yeah. Man, Nikki Taylor, thank you. It's one of the biggest inspirations in my whole life I've ever had, because she helped me understand the value of marketing, which then helped me progress. And she taught me this term called vertical integration versus horizontal integration. And what that says is like an ice cream parlor buying all of their ice cream from a supplier and selling all their ice cream, so that would not be vertical integration. Whereas if they were to use vertical integration, they would make their own cones, make their own ice cream, and do everything by themselves. So that concept really struck my mind, and I had this idea, like, well, what if I had this building that was a concert venue, it was a record store, it was a radio station, it was a recording studio, it was an office space. Why hasn't anybody been able to capitalize on this potential vertical integration to manifest all these things that you can do? So I had this idea of getting in an elevator, and on the bottom floor of my elevator in this potential building would be this giant concert venue, and then there's also a storefront where you can sell things. You go up one level and there's all the recording studios where people can record new sounds. You go up another level and there's a radio station where people can listen to it. You'll go up another level where people are selling the advertising space and marketing all this content that's coming out of here. And then you go up another level and there's my helipad. Yeah. So I can take a helicopter to a concert venue, record store, recording studio, office space, maybe a parking garage too, to get some more money.
It's the tenet of music.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
So I want this mecca, this vertically integrated building. So that's my vision. So when I'm 40, that's what I want. And so that's what I decided when I was 17 in Miss Taylor's marketing class. Like, that's what I'm going to do. So how do I do that? So I started selling concert tickets as a sophomore in high school, and got to see these venues in Portland, and got to establish a place inside of the Portland hip hop scene, as initially selling concert tickets, then helping them taste make and be like, hey, this artist is really popular. We should invest in this, and they would listen to me, and then it got to the point where I started DJing on stage for them, and it took off from there to where I went on national tours with things that they would route, and now, like I said earlier, with my manager acting as my agent, to the fact where he could make connections that I couldn't make, and so I guess the best way to describe an answer for you is. What was the question again?
It's like, what has the experience that you've had with touring plus the marketing classes, how has that led you to where you want to be in a couple of years?
I think the best way to see it is that I've been able to use music as a way to go and see what my potential building would look like. So
a platform.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a platform for me to be able to go to Oakland, and inside of Oakland there's this building called Venue Oakland, I think. And the first floor is a nightclub. The second floor is a restaurant where they rent out different, like they tell famous artists or famous chefs to come. And then the third floor is a huge concert venue, and then above that is is this guy's living space.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so vertical integration really is, and it is cool. And even at iHeartMedia, we have, the radio stations on the third floor, the office space on the third floor, and then on the fourth floor we have this small intimate concert venue type of thing where we can have like up to about like 70 people all at once to bring, like parties and different types of artists, to give them a platform. You know what I mean? So I think that's the best way to answer your question, is that I've been able to see what my potential building would look like by traveling to these places and working for these companies that do that. And like, there's parts of it that I need to learn from. There's people who do it right, and there's people who do it like terribly. I've seen what it looks like when there's bad security at an event, like when XXXTentacion got punched in the face on his opening song, and you know what I mean? Like, that's a reality. Like, people can
happened.
do that. Like, I had friends who were at the Roseland Theater when the rapper The Game, there was like a shooting at the concert. You know what I mean? So like, I've seen like what kind of causes and effects different types of decisions have. You know what I mean? And like at the Game concert, it's probably not smart to have 30 people on stage with like blue and red flags. You know what I mean? It's things that you would think are common sense, but all that takes is just one really stern stage manager just to say like, no, you can't have this many people on because someone in the crowd's going to get upset and get in a fight, and then stuff's going to happen.
It's a vision. You have to see it first and then put all the pieces together.
Exactly. So I think, so I've been, like I said, I've been really, really blessed and worked really hard to be able to be at these places where people have like a really good record or radio station, or a really good record store, and they have a retail front, or they have like a really good recording studio, and like what makes those things good. And so being able just to travel and experience and be able to like know the difference between things that are good and things that are bad, you know what I mean, and seeing the difference in it.
Yeah, like your idea of the tenant building where it has different levels is companies we see all the time, they're saying, we don't want people who are a part of the future. We want people who are going to change the future. And so with your innovative ideas, that's what people want to get on the back of. They're like, well, that's a great idea.
Right.
I'm going to go over there and piggyback with this guy. And so when you have those ideas that are formulating from all the experience, because although age shouldn't decipher who's listening, because I'm only 18, and I think you should listen to my podcast because I do a lot of research. And Rocky's not too old, but he's only 24, but he's been to concerts, he's been selling tickets since he was a kid. He travels so with an artist, so he knows what he's talking about. So when it comes to sports, I know what I'm talking about because I've done the research, I've done the time. He's done the time in a different field. So when you put everything all together, it just makes sense. And
absolutely.
That
it feels
5 year,
right. You know what I mean?
Right?
It feels right for you to be talking about sports. It feels right for me to be on stage at these festivals and like be a part of these moments in history, like music. Like, one of the things that got me most excited is that like I'm the biggest Travis Scott fanboy you've ever. Like, I'm literally wearing a Travis Scott t-shirt.
I know.
The third shirt.
Shirt of today. There we go.
The Travis t-shirt. So I was able to be at this concert where he played this unreleased song. You know what I mean? And that's like the equivalent of like being at some game where someone breaks some like world record or something like most assists in a quarter, or like, So like I like it feels right for me to be at these things. You know what I mean? And if
Yeah.
it didn't feel right, and if I don't, and kind of like I said, like I don't want to sound like I'm complacent because I still have like a lot of goals.
Right.
But if I never DJ another show, I'm cool with it.
Because
You
you
know what I mean?
love what you're doing right now.
And
Yeah.
like I did it. Like I told people in high school who didn't believe me that I was gonna be DJing for a high priority rapper and be able, and I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here I am. So it still feels right for me to do it, and and I still have this like this hunger for more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just can't let an opportunity go to waste. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if like like I said with sports with you, if you like you have a platform now, like you have a brand, you have you're building a catalog, and if that's what feels right, then like why would you not do it? You know what
Right,
I mean?
exactly.
And like it's so annoying to hear people be like, "Oh, well, I could have done this." Like, well, why didn't you? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, why?
Take those opportunities.
Yeah, and if
they're
you're
there,
and
they're
if
there.
You're wrong, you're wrong. Like I've had disasters on stage. I've had my laptop die on stage. Like, and it sucks, and it's my fault. But like that's what you sign up for. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
probably going to be some interview you do where it sucks, but
Right.
you learn from it. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Just like how the security guards learn when XXX
They
got
punched in the
face.
face.
Yeah, he got bodied on his opening song. So
Yeah, like being here, this is all really cool, but it would all start from opportunity when my business teacher said, "Hey, come and announce the baseball games because I know you're interested in sports."
exactly.
And of course, you screw up a little bit. A couple times, it's embarrassing, and everybody looks up at the stands going,
Yeah.
what is he doing?
Right,
But
right.
you know that you love something, and then you keep going. And I think one of the most important characteristics, a lot of job applications, they always say, what skills do you have? What are you going to bring to the table? And I think a very undervalued skill is goal setting, because when you want something, you're going to go out and get it. You're going to say, you know what? I want to make this my podcast. I want to continue this. I want to do radio in college. I want to be on ESPN. Do it. You said that in high school and people didn't believe you, and look where
Yeah.
you're at now.
Nobody like it's. I say, who's gonna stop you? Like,
Yeah.
like are you gonna?
You're the only
is it-
person.
exactly. So like, you have to go mess up. You have to find out, and then like soon enough, you're gonna get good eventually.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna be terrible, and you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
it's easy to see the difference in between it, but. I don't know, man. I'm just so excited to be here, be on this couch, and surrounded by these jerseys, and surrounded by this love.
Hey, two of
man.
them are yours. You're
right,
Celtics and the
yeah.
Air Jordan one.
Let's
So
go. Shout out
so
B Diddy. Shout
yeah,
out B Diddy on the New Orleans
exactly.
one.
Larry
That's
Bird.
Baron Davis, right? That's not That's not AD.
Yeah, you got to respect Baron Davis back when
Of course.
transitioned from 2001 over to the Pelicans.
So let me interview you. What's your dream jersey? If you could have any jersey from any year or any colorway.
Wow, that's a good question. Definitely like a throwback Muggsy Bogues #1 jersey
Ooh.
from the Hornets. That would be cool. Always liked him growing up as a kid. I didn't get to watch him. I was born in 2000, but definitely seeing highlights of the good old days. Or I mean, don't call this a bandwagon, but Del Curry, of course. I mean, he was a great shooter for the Hornets, 6th man of the year for them. His tenure was down there. I'd love to see Steph Curry come and play for us. I say us, meaning because I'm a
Blazers.
big fan.
Yeah.
No, the Hornets.
Oh, okay.
Because
Sure, yeah.
Stephen Curry, not the fake Splash brother,
Okay,
Steph
not-
Curry
yeah.
or Seth Curry.
Seth, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Muggsy Bogues, something classic.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
or a dope Seattle Sean Kemp Rain Man jersey.
Okay.
Or Lenny Wilkins, part of the 1979 championship team
Okay.
from the Sonics.
Solid.
And, I mean, it's not that they were a good team. They were actually awful, which my next podcast is going to be on the Sonics, why they moved, and some good examples of franchises that left and for what reasons.
Right.
But the Grizzlies, the Vancouver
Oh my
Grizzlies,
God,
those jerseys
yeah.
were
The white and
dope.
blue. I was just talking about that earlier today. My homie, a guy cut my hair, was talking about that jersey, and there's like these shorts. I don't know if you saw the
Oh,
homie.
yeah,
I had
that
a
guy,
friend at
yeah.
the going away party. Shout out Andrew Galligan. Man, he's got so much swag. He was wearing those with like the Grizzlies across the front.
Right,
oh
yeah.
my God, God,
Those are dope.
so
But
dope.
you know what's fascinating about that team? Sorry, a little spoiler alert for
Go
a
for it.
statistic. So the Grizzlies, they had 6 seasons in the NBA, 1995 to 2001. And their very first opening season, the NBA said you don't get a top 5 pick the first 3 seasons because you're an expansion team. You get to pick from all the other 28 teams in the league, but they get to protect 8 of their players. So they're basically grabbing the bottom of the barrel from each team.
Right.
And they already were spending their max salary cap just to get into the stadium because Toronto came in the same year. And what's crazy is that they had the worst record of all time, 15-67. That was horrible. The only team that was close was the Sixers, and that was 3 more wins. But we know the Sixers have been trusting the process for a while.
Yeah, you got to.
But the strange thing about that is that their attendance was 14th among the league, where there's 29 teams. So 15 teams were not getting more fans.
Yeah, not selling the seats.
And I counted their records. 6 of those teams were playoff teams.
Wow.
The number one team, besides the Bulls, who that year had the 72-10 record, was actually the Seattle Sonics with Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Detlef Schrempf, 64-18, number one seed in the West, and they still didn't average as many people coming as the Grizzlies, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
But yeah, to go back to your question, definitely something retro. It's got to be something retro.
Cool.
Nowadays, the jerseys are cool with the Nike ones coming out. Like the Lakers unveiled their new yellow,
Oh,
purple,
I
and
saw
gold
that.
ones.
I see that. How you feel?
I think they're dope.
Okay.
I think they're cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see LeBron wearing some purple and gold. So they only showed Kuzma, Brandon, and Lonzo in them, but once you see LeBron, he's gonna bring back Showtime.
Of course, man. It's exciting to be on the West Coast for that. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I wish I was gonna be on the West Coast for that.
But I mean, now you're close to a team, say the Wizards, who actually have a chance at going somewhere in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They have Dwight Howard now, and no longer LeBron. So that everybody in the East is happy.
Is open up, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Just like Zach LaVine, East is open.
Yeah, man.
Back to your professional career. To my knowledge, you had the opportunity as to sing a song with the Travis Scott.
Yeah.
What was that like? What was going through your head, especially?
I was talking about this earlier with my buddy. I feel like that moment was the proof I ever needed that music is what. I don't know if I really believe in like some sort of spiritual scripture, or if I feel like horoscopes or some sort of like thing beyond our control, some higher power.
Right.
But I felt like I was supposed to be there. I was the fan. Like that wasn't an accident.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? It wasn't just I was that kid right there. And the whole like 3 years that led up to that moment was just like the biggest. Oh man, it was like I think it was without a doubt the most defining moment in my life. And I've been lucky enough to DJ other festivals. I've been lucky enough to win a state championship. I've been, like you said, like I had a pretty solid sports career, but I have never in my life felt like this was exactly where I was supposed to be, and exactly like where just everything, like firing on full cylinders, like all cylinders. It just blows my mind that like people even remind me like, oh my god, that happened. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if you can cut away to it. I'll send you the footage so you can. But it was quite an incredible moment for me. So you want to hear the whole story? You want to hear the Travis Scott? And so then I ended up meeting his DJ. I met him. I met Young Thug's DJ. And I met this one of my closest mentors now. His name's Busy, who is his road manager and manages a couple other artists that I'm really into. Shout out Doug EF. So like I just ended up talking to him and just like speaking to him and like really coming on this incredible connection with him, like really out of nowhere. Like I didn't expect human beings to be this awesome, because like I'm so used to people just like being in and out of the venue. I just want my money. Like, let's just go rock the show. Let's play the song they want to hear.
Show
let's
me
leave.
the money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so Busy, my mentor, really helped me understand that there's like a real human side to everything. So I stayed in really good contact with him. And then I was doing, the first time I ever went to New York to play, first time ever in New York actually, was to play music with this artist named Dre Allen from Vancouver, Washington. And we did a show there. And as soon as I we did a sold out show at this legendary venue called SOBs, and then I had linked with Busy, and he said like, yeah, you're good on the guest list, so come out to this show after you rock that show. And I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. So I leave a sold out show in New York to get into a cab, and the sold out show that I DJ'd, and then get in a cab to go see Travis Scott in New York, and that sold out. And I walk in, and Quavo and Quavo and Takeoff, because Offset was in jail, are on stage with Travis Scott, and I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. So I see him in New York.
Life changing.
Awesome. Yeah, and then end up getting to meet another one of my idols, Mike Dean, who is a executive producer of him and has incredible music sense. He's a legend. And then still end up getting, really close with Busy again. And he ends up inviting me out to LA. And so I get to take your sister, my fiance, my best friend, who's awesome. I hope she gets an episode. We get to go see them in LA. And so we see him in LA. That's incredible. We get to meet Rihanna. We get to see Big Sean. We're side stage. It's like one of the biggest spectacles. And at that point, I was like, wow, this is the coolest moment of my life. Like, I'm in a backstage area with like Tyler the Creator's DJ, Big Sean's here, Rihanna's here, Travis is here, all these other super famous people, and staying really in really good contact with Busy. And then I had a track meet in San Diego. And Rihanna and Travis Scott were playing in Seattle. And so I wake up that morning and I text Busy. I was like, yo, I'm about to fly into Portland. I get in at like 4. And then you got any?
Busy's Travis Scott's manager.
Yeah, that guy, my mentor. And he was like, oh, I got 2 tickets for you. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So
Let's go.
That made the entire flight from San Diego, where I jumped like 6'6", I think. So I did high jump. I jumped like
pretty
6'6".
Tall.
And then just get so much more excited to go to this concert. And I'm just like in this plane, like, oh my God, I get to see Rihanna. I get to see Travis. Like, this is amazing. Like,
Kid in the candy store.
Oh my God. And so like, I don't know anything about these tickets. So
right.
Your sister and I just mash up to Seattle as fast as we possibly can. And then we end up getting to the will call tickets. And I had never experienced anything where I get the tickets, it's got my name on it, and I open it up, and I'm like looking at the section, and I'm thinking like 300 level, 200 level maybe.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, why does this only say 36? So I'm like, oh my God, like I'm confused. So I like go to the usher. He's like, yeah, so you're going to go down this section, and you're going to walk up and keep walking towards the stage, and then just walk closer to the stage again, and then your seats are going to be like right there. And like me and your sister are like, oh my God, like we're about to see Rihanna and Travis Scott, and we're like 36 rows back or whatever. And so
I could touch them.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, did we. And so we end up the show, Travis Scott is opening for Rihanna, so he has a first set. And as soon as Travis Scott's DJ, OG Chase B, who's like my role model,
right.
Busy is my mentor, Chase B is my role model, and Travis Scott is my influence.
Connections.
Exactly.
Right.
As soon as he starts playing, I like look at Logan, and I'm looking around. I was like, we can make it up there closer. Like we can finesse this.
Yeah.
So we like wave to the security guard's not looking. We like cut around, and like we get to this the back row. So we're about like 20 rows back, and the Key Arena, right? That's the
yeah
where the Celtics played. Yeah.
Or Sonics.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
And we get to watch Travis Scott in this giant arena. And me and your sister are, like I said, 20 rows back, but we know every single word. We know every single dance that like coincides with the lyrics and stuff.
Because these guys are coming for Rihanna.
Yeah.
So they're not all here. Yeah. You're here for Travis Scott, though. Yeah.
Of course. And so it got to the point where like Logan and I are like dancing and like interacting, like really like pointing at each other to Travis and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then he plays this one song called 3500. And earlier in the tour, he had ran into the crowd, found the kid that knows the lyrics,
yeah,
and like rapped with him and whatever. And so like 3500 comes on, and I look at Logan. I was like, I'm sorry in advance for being so extra at this, but I literally stand on top of my chair and like am pointing at him, like rapping at him, like looking.
You got to get his attention.
Oh boy,
yeah,
I was trying. And then he like walks over to one side and like kind of looks around, walks to the other side and like kind of looks around, and then he like looks right in front of like the stage, and he looks at one kid, and it doesn't look like the kid really knows the lyrics. And then he hops the barrier. And like I said, we're 20 rows back, so You see, he just disappears for a second.
Everyone swarms.
And I look at Logan. I was like, this is about to happen. Like, as soon as
shit's about to go down.
It's going the fuck down. And so he passes that first kid, and I just like look at your sister, and I was like, get ready for this. Like, you're gonna need to get your phone out for this. And so sure enough, man,
Helmet
we're like
on.
we're halfway through his first verse in that song 3500, and then he comes right up to me. And the spotlight from the arena is now like in my eyes, and I can barely see. And there he is. He's wearing this like snow camo outfit from Stony Island. I am like in awe. Like I am watching, like, for lack of a better word, I am watching an angel in front of me. Like this, I'm watching this spectacle unfold in front of me, but it's with me. You know what I mean? And so there's like a couple lines that like he like hands me the mic for, and I like know of every word.
Yeah, right.
Like,
you were prepared. You were coming.
I was prepared. And so like he like, so we end up rapping the whole thing, or the end of the first verse, and then he gives me the microphone to rap the entire hook, which I'm sorry for anybody who would offended. It has the N-word in it. But if you were in my situation,
you wouldn't just
you kind of get the pass,
spray array,
yeah. So like I'm not trying to do any type of stereotyping or anything like that, but I'm sorry for if I offended everybody. But like I said, the best moment of my entire life. So I rapped the end of that first verse, and then he like looks at me and he says like, "You don't understand what you just did." I was, what? And he's like, "You don't understand what you just did. You just help us unlock the last key to making this place go absolutely insane." And so like and actually right before that, I like interrupted. I'm like, yo, wait, shout out Chase, like shout out OG Chase B one time, and like he drops a bomb, and the whole crowd goes crazy because like if I was his DJ, I'd want it to be shouted out too. That man's a legend too. And so like just in passing, I'm like, Trav, I see everything you did. Like I have been a fan from the jump. Like I saw when you first got signed as a producer. I saw when you first like dropped your first mixtape, and then the next mixtape, and then the album that changed our life. I didn't get to say all that at once.
Right,
but like, he probably knows.
You were seeing it in his eyes, like...
Right. And then he tells me that I unlocked the last key to us all having a crazy night, and then he plays Antidote. And at that time, that was still like right on the radio. It was like, I think it was in the 13th position on the Billboard 100. I wish I remembered what it peaked at. But I cannot describe it was like confirmation. It was like euphoric. It was like ecstasy. It was
a sign.
It was a sign. It was instant validation that this is exactly like all of the stress I ever had, every bad show I ever had, every terrible security guard I ever had, every time I was late somewhere, every track meet I didn't do well at that I wanted to do better at. It was all worth it. Like it all built up to that moment, like right then. And
that was your time. That was
he gave me that 15 seconds, and then now what I try to build with off of that is like I want to give that same feeling of like
to somebody else.
Yeah, I have to pay that forward. Like it would not be as like I got to feel that, and I want to share that feeling. You know
that
what I mean?
15 seconds was life-changing.
Absolutely, and it's something that I will never forget. And like, if I die tomorrow, like that's the best memory.
There's two things you got to do now. One, you got to get the last key tattooed on you somewhere. And secondly, you just got to roll with this now. You just got to say, one, Travis Scott jumped around and sang with him, knew the song, and two, that shout out was genius. Like knowing how to place that marketing, that is why you went to college. Those 50 seconds for that was at college right there. And people were like, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, man. It's just it just felt right. It felt like everything was happening at the right time, and like so much had built up into that moment, from like being so utterly disappointed to not open for him. Like when I first would have done that.
I remember that.
It was devastating. It was terrible. But and then he got to like come full circle. You know what I mean? It came full circle. And so now I've been lucky enough to perform at the same festivals as Travis Scott, and it's amazing. So I think I've seen him 7 times now.
Yeah.
I think I probably own like 13 T-shirts or something like that. So, man, I'm a super fan. I'm not trying to get in any competition with anybody, but I don't know how many more people have been touched and influenced with him in a moment like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
especially you, for sure.
Dude, it's something I can never like accurately put in words. Hopefully, you guys just get to watch it. So
Yeah, it's dope.
here's a clip.
Wait, I like this one.
What up, Chase? Shout out OG Chase B one time.
Like most movies, we gravitate to a story where it like starts kind of low and then ends up really high. I mean, it's not like you hit rock bottom or whatnot, but you had a lot of struggles through this whole time. And then to have this moment, it was like that peak for the hero in the movie where he gets the girl and whatnot. And it's awesome because it shows you that you are meant to do this and that you're awesome at it because like you're so talented, and that was a sign. And I couldn't be happier for you.
Dope, man, and it's cool. And it's not like that. Like ever since then, it's been happily ever after. Like I said,
But you still got to work. And
yeah, of
whatnot,
course. Like
but
I was broke as hell like a year and a half after that with a college degree in the middle of Florida, like on tour with Ski Master Slump God, and like
right.
I have been dead broke before with like no money to pay for Wendy's. And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it's like it's a real thing. And
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, and hopefully it never happens to you, but you know, it's a great thing. It's a great thing for a kid to feel, is to be depleted out of money and to be like, I think that's a huge thing that I don't wish lack of money upon anybody, but I hope that there's a reestablished value of someone's worth because they hear my story. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So that's the Travis Scott story. So,
Yeah, that's dope.
yeah, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, of course. Knowing that this guy will be leaving to Maryland tomorrow.
Go Terps.
For my sister to continue her career in school for grad school in clinical psychology. Not that you asked, but yeah.
I can talk about your sister all day, man.
Right.
Your sister is awesome, and she puts up with my bullshit, which is even more awesome and completely unexpected.
Right. But knowing that he's leaving tomorrow, it means the world to me that he came and did this with me.
I had
and
to,
so,
man. So hold on. So before you end this podcast, let's talk about you, man. So here we are. Here we are. What episode is this?
It's about 7. I haven't uploaded any to the website yet. I'm trying to get about 10 before I do,
Cool.
so there's a little bit of feed.
A whole season 1.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. So what?
Yep.
Yep. Trying to get on that announcing booth. Trying to roll the dice up there.
Yeah, got some radio and try and do what I can. Make the
Nice.
most out of the opportunities, like you said. You just got to go and get them. Your worst
Yeah.
enemy is yourself, and so
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna fight myself. I'm just gonna go do it.
Turn all my L's into lessons, man.
Yeah.
Chance the Rapper said that once.
Yeah.
But
that's
man,
dope.
thank you for the platform. Thank you for look
Yeah.
at you, man. Like we got pop filters over here. Like this man is doing it. This man is doing it, man. You got a whole studio in this side bedroom.
Trust me, I work as a full-time mechanic, so none of this would be here unless I work. So
Exactly. Scared of being
not
broke.
spoiled.
Scared to be a broke, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for tuning in. Next podcast probably going to be on the Sonics, their rise to their fall, and why they went to Oklahoma City. Once again, please thank Mr. Rockwell Tufty for coming aboard, and we will sign off.
Peace, man. Thank you, Luke. I love you, buddy. I'm gonna miss you every single day. And
Love
I
you
hope
too.
Watch this, and I hope you and I can watch this forever.
Yep.
I love you. Have a good night, Portland. I'm out. Peace.
PDX.
Woo.
Nice. Oh, that